A rumor regarding the assassination of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu suddenly spread on social media, quickly becoming a focal point of international public attention. The rumor of Mr. Netanyahu's death in an Iranian attack spread like lightning, followed by a wave of speculation, with images and videos being scrutinized in every detail. The rumor erupted when a video of Mr. Netanyahu's speech appeared on the internet with a hand that seemingly had 6 fingers. That strange detail immediately ignited a wave of suspicion that the video might have been created by artificial intelligence, sparking theories that the Israeli government was hiding something. Under growing pressure from public opinion, the Israeli Prime Minister's office was forced to speak out and deny all the circulating allegations. They affirmed that Mr. Netanyahu was still safe and dismissed the information about his assassination as simply fake news. However, that official denial was not enough to extinguish the wave of suspicion spreading across the internet. In an age where images, videos, and even voices can be created or edited using AI technology, the line between truth and fabrication is becoming increasingly fragile. Therefore, this story is not just about a rumor regarding the fate of a leader. It raises a much larger question. Is this merely social media misinformation, or is it actually part of an information war quietly taking place alongside geopolitical tensions in the Middle East? The rumor regarding the fate of the Israeli Prime Minister is not just a curious story on social media. It reflects a much more notable reality. Modern warfare today does not only take place with missiles, tanks, or airstrikes. It also takes place on another front, the front of information. In geopolitical conflicts, information has long been a strategic tool. A sufficiently powerful rumor, especially one related to the death or assassination of a leader, can create immense psychological consequences. Such information, if widespread, can plunge domestic public opinion into a state of panic. People start questioning the real situation behind the scenes of power. Internal politics can be placed in a sensitive position as speculations about a leadership vacuum emerge. And in the context of war or military tension, this kind of rumor can even cause a fluctuation in morale within the armed forces, those who are closely monitoring every signal from the leadership. That is why, in the history of modern conflict, rumors involving national leaders are always considered a form of psychological strike. Without having to launch any missiles, unverified information alone can create a psychological and political chain effect. When people start to doubt, when factions start to speculate, and when international media starts to ask questions, the rumor itself becomes a tool of pressure. However, what makes the story more complex in this day and age is the emergence of artificial intelligence. AI technology has completely changed the way information is created and spread. Previously, constructing a fake story required a lot of effort, editing images, staging videos, or creating fake documents. But now, with just a few common AI tools, a video can be created in minutes with images and voices so lifelike they are hard to distinguish. Mr. Netanyahu's case is a prime example of that. Just one unusual detail in the video, the hand allegedly having 6 fingers, was enough to spark a wave of suspicion. Immediately, many people began to ask whether this video was created by AI or not, and when that question appeared, the doubt itself became the fuel for the rumor to continue spreading. It is worth noting that in the age of AI, the boundary between real and fake is becoming more blurred than ever. But if AI is the tool to create controversial content, social media is the environment that helps that content spread at an unprecedented speed. In today's media world, a sensational news story always has a much greater viral advantage than an official announcement. A shocking status update, a curious video, or an image that makes viewers question everything all have the potential to spread strongly thanks to the operational mechanisms of social media platforms. Social media algorithms often prioritize content that attracts attention and generates interaction. That means posts that are controversial, surprising, or shocking are often displayed more. When users start commenting, sharing, or debating, that content is pushed to even more people by the algorithm. And in that loop, a small rumor can completely develop into a global story after just a few hours. As a result, in the era of digital media, fake news is no longer limited to the scope of a country or a small community. Within just a few hours, it can appear on the phone screens of users all over the world. And at that point, distinguishing between what is truth, what is speculation, and what is manipulated information has become a major challenge, not only for readers, but also for governments and media organizations themselves. Looking broadly, the story revolving around the rumors about Mr. Netanyahu cannot be separated from the extremely tense geopolitical context in the Middle East. When a region is already in a sensitive state, any unusual information related to leaders can also become a catalyst that sparks larger speculations. And it is in that environment that a rumor that seems like just an online story easily turns into an issue monitored by the entire world. What makes the picture more complex is the indirect involvement of many other countries. The Middle East has long been a region where the interests of great powers and alliance blocs overlap. Western countries, some Gulf nations, along with regional partners, all have their own strategic calculations. As tensions between Israel and Iran increase, these countries are often drawn into that vortex, whether through military cooperation, technological support, or intelligence sharing. For that reason, a rumor involving an Israeli leader is not simply a country's internal story. It is immediately placed in a broader context, whether this is a sign indicating a new step of escalation in the Israel-Iran confrontation. And when that question is raised, a series of other speculations also appear. If the conflict breaks out more intensely, which countries will be pulled in? One of the factors showing the level of complexity of the current situation is the increasingly clear connection between seemingly separate wars. A typical example is the role of Ukraine in matters related to drone technology. After years of confronting Russia, Ukraine has accumulated significant experience in detecting and intercepting UAVs, especially the kamikaze UAVs widely used on the battlefield. That experience is making Ukraine a partner of interest to many countries, especially in the context where UAVs are increasingly becoming common weapons in modern conflicts. When Ukrainian experts participate in supporting anti-UAV efforts in the Middle East, this unintentionally creates a new connection between the European battlefield and the tensions in the Middle East. From a geopolitical perspective, this is a sign showing that modern conflicts are increasingly interconnected. Technology, tactics, and even personnel can move from one battlefield to another. What is tested in the war in Ukraine can quickly appear in confrontations in the Middle East, and conversely, technologies or tactics from the Middle East can also influence conflicts elsewhere. When military alliance blocs begin to intertwine in such a way, the boundaries between individual wars gradually become blurred. An event occurring in one region can lead to a chain reaction in another region. A military support decision by one country can be seen by another country as an act of participating in the conflict. And from there, confrontations that were once limited to a regional scope can gradually become more global in nature. In that context, the story of the rumor related to Mr. Netanyahu becomes a very characteristic example of the era. It shows that warfare today is no longer only defined by battles, airstrikes, or advances on the battlefield. Modern warfare is also a fierce competition on the information front, where every photo, every video, and every status update on social media can become a part of the confrontation. Especially in the digital age, the speed of information dissemination has reached an unprecedented level. A rumor posted in a small corner of the internet can quickly spread globally in just a few hours. When millions of people discuss a story together, the story itself has a certain weight, regardless of whether it is true or false. And because of that, the story of the rumor of Mr. Netanyahu's death is not simply a media incident. It reflects a clear reality. In the digital age, a piece of fake news can sometimes create a shocking effect, just like a missile being launched on the battlefield.